In this video, we'll go over all the different ways to update your product variations. Here in the Variations tab, you'll see a high-level overview of your selected listings and the variations they currently have. From this view, you're able to edit variations and their respective prices, quantities, SKUs, visibility, and linked photos. At the top of the page, you'll see two drop-down menus: Choose Profile and Choose Category. We cover variation profiles much more in depth in its own video, so we'll just overlook it for now. If we go ahead and click Choose Category, this will prompt us to pick from one of Etsy's main product categories. This is important because it will alter the variation options we have later down the line. It's important to note that unlike other functions, changing the variations from the bulk editor will override any pre-existing variations. Once we select our product category, we can go ahead and add our first variation. Let's pick size as the first option and enter in the respective measurements of these products. From here, we can choose to enter another variation. Let's go ahead and add a custom variation: clock numbers. Now that our main variations have been set, let's take a look at pricing. By default, all of your variations will have the same attributes, including price. By clicking Individual Pricing, this will allow you to set different prices for each respective variant. Let's go ahead and set individual prices for our first variant, size. Using this drop-down menu, you'll see three functions we can use to edit our prices. Let's go ahead and increase the price of each listing by $5. If we'd like to, we can also set individual prices for the secondary variant using the same checkbox on the right. We'll hold off on that for now and assume that clock size is the only variant that impacts pricing. Likewise, it is the same process for setting quantities. Let's go ahead and set the specific quantities for each size. Once again, you can use this drop-down menu to further edit the quantities of these variants. Just as price, we can track the quantities of the secondary variants using this checkbox right here. For simplicity's sake, let's opt in to track the quantities of all 6 variations, but we'll keep their quantities the same as they are. Of course, you can always edit this if needed. Moving on to SKU. Clicking on Individual SKU will allow us to give each variant a unique SKU. Using the functions from this drop-down menu, we can edit any pre-existing SKUs or change them entirely. Let's use wall clock as our base and edit each SKU to reflect our primary and secondary variations. Keep in mind, this function will make all the SKUs the same across all of the selected listings. If you'd like to fine-tune the specific SKUs for your products and their variants, this can be done from the SKU section in the sidebar. From the Visibility tab, we can toggle on which variants are visible in our listing. This is useful if one of your products is not available in both of the variations you have selected. Once all of these details look good, go ahead and hit Apply to update these listings and save these changes within Vela. If we do a quick scroll, you'll see all of our selected listings now have the same variations. It's important to note you're also able to make individual updates from this view. By simply clicking into any of these listings, you can make the necessary adjustments for a single listing. For this product right here, let's go ahead and add a new size and increase the price. Finally, you can also individually select the linked photos assigned to each of these variants. This step sets up your listing so that when a buyer clicks on a variant, they will see the corresponding photo alongside of it. Using this drop-down menu, you can fine-tune it for your secondary variation as well. But for this example, we'll just track the photos linked to the primary variant. To select a linked photo, simply click on the corresponding image over here on the right. It's important to note that due to the nature of this edit, this must be done individually. Now that everything is set, it's time to save the changes to Etsy. Go ahead and click Sync Updates to send these edits to your Etsy shop. Once the sync finishes, all of these variants will now be live in your Etsy listings.